Hey guys, welcome to the Macros for Life podcast. I am your show co-host, Eve Guzman. I am a nutritionist, medical laboratory scientist, and also a fitness business coach to nutrition coaches. And we've helped over 5,000 people exclusively with nutrition, but especially macro tracking. In the last episode, I talked about how tracking accurately was the game changer for me. So go back and listen to that podcast if you're looking for more information about getting started with tracking macros, how it might be different from eyeballing, using measuring spoons and cups and things like that for your macro tracking. Because today I'm going to be talking about your maintenance calories, which is where I recommend everyone to start. But tracking with your maintenance calories, how you're going to be able to find them, track them, and then eventually learning to trust them. But this is also something no one teaches really well, but it changes everything once you understand it. I know when we're thinking about nutrition and macro tracking and calories in a way of eating, people are always thinking fat loss, aka being in a deficit, which is like eating less than you need. But no one really talks a lot about maintenance calories and what those are. And because fat loss, for it to work and for deficits to make sense, you really need to know one thing. How many calories does your body actually need to maintain your weight? Most people don't even know that number, right? They're either under it, they're over it, and when they're not trying to lose weight, they're eating intuitively or they're just eating and they have like no freaking idea like how many calories they're actually doing it. And when you don't really know what your maintenance is, everything else is a little bit harder because you don't have a foundation to go up or down from for different goals. But maintenance calories are very misunderstood because everybody does jump into just eating less. They never really want to ask, okay, what am I eating right now to maintain? And most people are not assuming they're eating too much and need to cut back unless they are aggressively seeing the scale goes up. But when you don't know that intake, you really don't even know if you're in a deficit. And it may take longer to get into a deficit, which can lead to people quitting a plan because they don't really know where they're starting from. And that's when weight loss and stuff seems to be really, really predictable. So, maintenance calories aren't really like a calculator based number. You are going to find some formulas and stuff like that, but that's not what you're really looking for, like a website or an app to spit out and give you. Maintenance is simply the amount of food that your body needs to keep your weight stable over time. But let me pause. Stable means fluctuations of about 1 to 4 pounds are normal, especially with women. We have different times of our cycle each month where we have lots of weight and water fluctuations, PMS before our period, on our period, and then several days later after that all ends, then we ovulate. So we have probably 10 days out of the month where our 10, maybe even 12, I'll just say 10. 10 days out of 28 days where our weight is fluctuating beyond our control due to changes in water. So that only leaves 18 days where things don't seem really stable. Add in flying, adding a sitting job, adding going and hiking, a leg day, a back day, too much salt, eating sushi, not hydrating enough, being in 90-degree weather. Like there's just so much day to day change that can happen. And with women, the fluctuations are definitely more than men. But your maintenance is not always your day to day weight. It is the average over time. So, what is your average weight for the week? Then check the next week. What is your average weight for the month? An average is a trend. A single number is just a single number. It does not determine your maintenance number. But the only way to find your maintenance calories and your maintenance weight is to track. There's really just no other way around it. Because even if you go in and get a DEXA scan, it spits out your BMR or whatever, that's still for that day. that might be the heaviest weight that you are that month. It may be the lightest. It might be close to what you typically are. But this is how you actually find your maintenance weight. First, you want to track your food accurately. So go back to the last episode, check that out on how to accurately track. And you want to just eat consistently. You don't want to intentionally restrict, hold back. You also don't want to intentionally overeat because you're like, I hope my maintenance is higher. You just kind of want to eat like you normally do, but log it and eat everything, track it, not eat everything, but eat your food, track everything, and then watch the scale trend for a minimum of 7, but I would recommend 14 days. So 14 individual days of you tracking all of your calories, everything you're consuming, all your liquids, and 14 start of the morning weigh-ins or whatever. If you're third shift, basically after your biggest sleep, that is when you want to weigh yourself. 14 days. If your weight is relatively stable, congrats to you. Like that's pretty close to probably what your maintenance weight is. If your weight trends downward, you're under maintenance. If you're losing weight over those 14 days, you are in a deficit. If it's trending over, the amount of calories you're eating is a surplus, it's too much. Maintenance is going to always be discovered through direct observation, like us doing trial and error. Yes, you can go get a formula online and try that out, but the same thing would still have to happen. You would have to track everything you're eating for 7 to 14 days, weigh yourself every single morning for 7 to 14 days, but it's really better to do that off of how you normally eat and not go make a change against what a calculator is telling you. Um, but this is like the area where people get, definitely confused. So we're doing this to collect data. This phase is really to teach you how much food your body actually needs, how hunger feels when you're eating enough, how consistency affects your weight, and how your body responds without the pressure of putting yourself into a deficit or changing what you're eating, new food lists, or whatever. When you go through like this test phase of maintenance, of trying to find your maintenance, you actually are like, you're taking yourself through almost an experiment of trust because you get to just observe yourself and start to build trust in this is what I eat. This is the number of calories I have a day. This is my weight. And you're literally getting to be like a mini scientist to discover what the heck is going on with you. And so when you finally find your maintenance number through this little experiment and you're building trust on how to get this data, when you go into a deficit, it doesn't feel as scary because okay, my maintenance is 2000. And so if I'm eating at that, I'm not going to lose weight. So if I'm tracking and I'm eating 2000, that's the problem. Like you'll know right away. But knowing your maintenance number makes fat loss or weight loss easier, not harder, because you're not making a random cut. You know the changes are intentional. There's less emotion. There's more science, and it's data driven. You know what you're stepping down from. You know when the adjustments are needed, and you know when nothing is wrong with you because you're like, I'm just eating over where I need to be. And so fat loss just becomes math and feedback. That's it. No emotion, just math and feedback. That's it. And that's what macros are. So if you have been dieting for a long time and you do not know your maintenance, I want you to do this. Tag me, shoot me a message on Instagram at Eve Guzman official. Let me know how it goes. But this is not a willpower experiment. This is just you figuring out your foundation, learning your numbers, also like building more trust with tracking, more trust with getting on the scale. And once you understand your maintenance calories, I mean, like you could literally do whatever. It'll make everything so much easier. And guess what? If you come to work with us one-on-one, we're going to work on finding your maintenance calories in the beginning anyway. So I hope you like this podcast. If you know someone that's interested in tracking macros and they do need to find out what their maintenance calories are, if you want to do this little experiment, tag team it with the bestie, let them know and then tag me. Let me know how it goes. I promise I'm not weird. Just come find me. But please subscribe or like this podcast. And I'll see you guys on the next one.